My friends, welcome back to another episode of After We Wrap. I am your host, Gabriella Ortiz, and this show is all about who we are when the camera stops rolling. We're regular people.
Yeah.
Right? I wish we were aliens and get out of this planet right now, but here we are stuck in planet Earth. But, oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited for today's guest. If I were to tell 10-year-old me right now, I'd be like, nah, get out of here. I'm sure some of you have seen Titanic. No big deal. No big deal. One of my favorite movies. No one's seen it. No one's seen it. And there's a person in that movie that you might recognize her right now. She's
cool
a little bit
baby
older.
girl.
She's a
baby.
little tiny baby. Such a cutie pie. Cutest smile. Cutest curls. Oh my God. Like I just picture it right now. I'm just gonna go. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Owens Sarno.
Yay!
I said it right.
You
Thank
did it. You
God.
nailed it. I'm so proud of you.
Jesus. Okay. I'm sure that you're over the topic of Titanic. I mean, it's been a lifelong conversation.
Been a long time.
I can only imagine. So we will talk about it really, really quick.
Do you?
So my friends, do you all remember the little girl that Leonardo DiCaprio danced with? Cora? She's right here.
I'm here.
I've
arrived.
She's an adult now.
Full grown.
Because we grow up and that sucks, you know? But I wish we could stay little forever and have no responsibilities.
No responsibilities. We got to make that shirt.
No responsibilities. How was dancing with Leonardo DiCaprio?
It was terrible. I hated No, I'm just kidding. It was great. I'm not a dancer. It's definitely not in my repertoire. But when you're in that kind of situation, it's just, I didn't even really know who he was.
Sure. Yeah.
Our first scene that we filmed was this scene that ended up getting cut. And when we went home that day, my mom was like, do you know who you were on camera with? And I was like, Leo, my friend.
Gilbert Grape.
That's what she said. She literally showed me Gilbert Grape that week. And I was like, he's a real actor. So with that being said, I then knew who he was when we were doing the dancing scene. And yeah, it just, at that point, he was just my buddy. And it was super fun. And he just kind of flailing me around. And that was actually, the dancing was part of my audition. Okay. So I got onto Mally Finn's feet and she just kind of like did a little dance with me and it was really cool. So yeah, it's kind of like the big piece.
Wow.
Especially for my character. And it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You're just here because mom told me to be here. Whatever.
I'm 8.
You were 8 at that time?
Yeah.
Wow. Was that your first job? Like your first?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went down to Rosarito for an open casting call for extras. And at that point, I was 7, and my sister was like 3.5, somewhere around there, 4, going on 4. And my mom told us about Titanic and all the people who died. And my sister just starts bawling, bawling her little heart out. And my sister actually was the one with the curls at the time. I didn't get my curls until puberty. So she had these beautiful ringlets and just like fate, whatever you want to call it, Mally Finn happened to be walking by at that exact moment. She was the casting director. And so she was like, get that kid in a costume, get her on a boat now, because they wanted her to play the little girl that Billy Zane's character lifts up and takes. I'm the only thing she has in the world. They wanted her to be that little girl. Exactly. They wanted her to be that character. She cried too much, it turns out. Yeah, she was really overwhelmed. And I was with my uncle and Mally was like, do you want to audition for this part? And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know what that means though. Yeah. I'm just like, let's go do it. So I got in line behind a bunch of little blonde girls and
the brunette got it. Wow. That's so cool. Wait, no, he said, I've got a child, not a kid. I hate when that happens and I think of a line and then I was like, wait, that's not it. Close. But I'm a little.
Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
I'm a little obsessed with Titanic. Listen, and that's it. We won't talk about it anymore. But I saw it in the movies, I think 3 times. I love the boobie scene for some reason. I was like, boobs, let's go.
Meanwhile, my mom's like, don't you?
It was legal boobs for boys back then. I saw it 4 times in the theater, and I was like, oh, it's such a beautiful film, Mom. It's like I'm so touched.
It really speaks to me.
It really did speak to me.
Yeah. But no, genuinely, it's one of my top 3 films. Just because of everything, and then of course it's a real story, and I love history. I love learning about things that happen in history, and so that this was one of those that I was like I wanted to actually learn the history of Titanic, and I bought a shit ton of books because I was like, I want to learn everything, and I had like a weird fascination with Titanic, and then I grew up, and then I was like,
I think too, for like, all jokes aside, like I think for me personally, like it's very nostalgic to a very good time in my life. Like anytime like it's on TV, I'll pop it on, watch a little bit of it. I'm like, God dang, man. And also that was to me the last, I feel like the world started going downhill soon after that period of time, in the sense of like,
I can see it. Yeah.
I don't want to get too crazy, but like 9/11,
Yeah.
iPhone, internet, social media. It was just like, that was the last like pure, before the internet, like physical media, like it was just the last pure time. Like if you really think about it, like we were in the moment, man.
Definitely.
Like, yeah. So that's just one of the many things of that time period that like can transport people back to it. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Titanic, that was your first job. Did you get your SAC card? Were you into it? What happened after?
So because we were filming in Mexico, the rules didn't really apply. They knew that the cast was going to be so enormous because they needed so many extras. And so I didn't get eligibility, anything. I had a line. I was just basically like a featured extra, and that was it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
I feel like nowadays that wouldn't fly.
Oh, it would not fly.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I think my mom was just like super excited.
Sure. Yeah.
And didn't know.
Yeah.
And so you just you have this opportunity and you're like, let's just go for it. This is super great. You don't really know how to advocate for yourself because you're not connected in that industry. So I ended up getting an agent after that. And I think it was actually Leonardo DiCaprio's first agency was the agency I ended up signing with, but I'm not entirely sure.
Damn.
And then basically it was just like an onslaught of rejection, and having to drive all the way up here. I'm from San Diego. So driving up here and, the commute just to like get a no became it was a big toll. So I took a really big break.
Okay.
I would do school plays and whatnot. But other than that, it wasn't really until I moved back up here. Well, up here in the first place. What am I talking about? Moved up here and then was like, okay, I want to pursue this in a way that I actually know what I'm doing, and like starting classes and kind of learning more about what all of it is about. And also, it's so much soul searching and like knowing who you are and getting over so many different things that hold you down. So it's just kind of been, I feel like the majority of my journey in LA has been kind of getting to know myself outside of who I was told I was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at now. Is I've done things along the way, mostly like small personal projects and projects with friends and stuff. And I feel like I'm kind of coming into that space of I know who I am. I know where like my talent lies, and I know where it lives, and I can go forward from there.
So can you tell the audience what Horror Girls is going to be about?
Yes. Yeah.
And who came up with the concept?
It was Jerry's idea.
Well,
Really?
it came out of Harley watches more horror films than I've ever, like, of anybody that I've ever met ever. And we were talking about like creating content, and I was like, oh, you should do a horror movie review. But doing something alone, it feels like it's overwhelming. And so we were at Sundance, and I just had an idea where I was like, hey, what if we did it together? You love horror films. I used to, and now I'm terrified. Like,
Really?
Like, absolutely. Like, I love
She's
going
terrified.
to like scary walkthroughs for Halloween, but like, I'm so scared. And I was like, I think this juxtaposition will be very funny. I'll die, but also like, I think it'll be really fun. And then we were talking about like, well, what could the metrics be? Because we don't want to just like do like a normal review. And so then we came up with some silly metrics that we thought would be funny to share with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before we share what the metrics are,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do want to add that I find it hilarious because Jerry is like, she's genuinely a scaredy cat. She's terrified of everything. Like going through a haunted house with her is constantly like, that the whole time. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, and it's so funny. But I feel like you've also found yourself. So Jerry and I have done 5 movies together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most of them have been horror comedies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But heavy on the horror.
Yeah.
I feel like you just found yourself in this horror world. And so
Yes.
whenever we like go to these events together, we end up talking about horror movies. And also at Sundance, people kept thinking that we were twins. Which,
like actual twins?
like,
We're like, this is confusing.
number of people were like, oh, you guys are twins, right? And we're like,
we were wearing similar hats.
we wore the same hat. And that was,
That's all it
people
takes.
need. That's all people need.
That's all
They
it
don't
takes.
look beneath the brim.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
the same hat.
They're like boobs
Twins.
and hat and yeah. So
Yeah. So I just feel like it was something that we were naturally talking about all the time anyway. And we like hanging out. So we're like, how do we make fun stuff and also get to hang out more?
Yeah.
And talk about stuff
and
we
we've
already
never
talked about.
collaborated on anything just like the two of us. So it
Mhm.
felt like a really fun opportunity.
Aw,
Yeah.
I love that. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. So, Jerry, it's interesting that you say that you're not a horror girl. Me neither, until I met Shane. And then I started to feel a little bit more comfortable watching horror stuff. The one show that I'll say, which I always bring it up, is The Hill House, The Haunting of Hill House. That's the one that I'm like, okay, that's the kind of show I like. I don't
Yeah.
like breaking bones, stabbing, blood, I'll puke. But I would think, a question like this is, I'm genuinely, I'm curious. If you are working in horror projects, wouldn't that make it easier to watch horror?
Well,
I've never done a horror project, so I
Yeah.
don't know. But
It's
I
on
wonder.
my list of things to do with you.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's on my list of things to do with you. I'm
Okay.
still
I'm
gunning
waiting
for
Yeah,
it.
let's do it.
I think yes, and behind the scenes it's so different. There's an element of like the emotions are true, but like so much of the practicality of doing the gags and stuff isn't, so like there's a level of detachment that you can kind of have in terms of the reality, like not when you're in the scene, but just in terms of like what it looks like. But I will say, I loved horror when I was younger, and then with the pandemic and just like, I don't know, my body processing trauma has found it really difficult to sit through a lot of it, and it just brings up a lot. But I've found as we've been diving back in that actually, like, one, I think horror is such a valuable tool for storytelling and is going to be even more popular in these next 4 years.
Mhm.
And I've also just started to really appreciate the filmmaking and the cinematography, and just like there's almost like more available to them camera wise and storytelling wise that I think is just really neat. And so that is allowing me to be like, okay, I'll close my eyes and I'll
Yeah.
start bawling for 20 minutes after the film ends, and it's all worth it for the art.
For the arts.
What was the latest horror movie that you watched that made you? Oh gosh.
Harley was like, you should watch, we're trying to watch like nominated films, and one of them is Smile 2.
I haven't
Oh
seen
my
it.
God,
I haven't seen
it's
it yet.
so
I haven't seen
good.
it yet.
So it's so good.
It's so intense, though.
amazing. I mean, so I went
Her
to go.
performance.
Unreal. I
I
mean,
mean,
genre defying,
whoa.
so incredible. She's like one of the best performers I've ever seen. Her voice, her dancing,
Holy
her
shit.
physicality, everything. Her
Yeah.
hair. I'm in love. I
Yeah.
mean,
I have to see
Jasmine.
it.
She's,
Yeah, I know.
a queen.
Princess Jasmine.
But when I went to go see it, I went to it was like an early screening, and I got there late because traffic to downtown LA is garbage. And so the only row that was available was the very front row. So I'm watching it like this close to my face. And I mean, if you've seen the movie, it's like, it's jump scares, blood, it's all of it.
I mean,
so
I screamed at the top of my lungs, and my fiance was next to me, and he was like, "What? I've never heard you scream this loud." And I was like, "They're coming out of nowhere. Like, I had no preparation. I can't even put something over my head." And then literally the movie ended, and I just hysterically started crying. I have a video.
We do have a video.
This was a bad idea.
Jerry, she sent me a before of like, okay, I'm gonna watch Smile 2. I watched the preview for Smile 1 just so I could remember all the details, and like I'm getting ready, buckling in, here we go. I was like, oh fun, okay, great, this is gonna be awesome. The next video I get opens with her just going, tears, mascara just streaming down her face. And of course, like my initial instinct was to laugh. Like I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, people are gonna love this. This is gonna be so funny. And then I was editing the video and I was like, oh no, my friend is really crying. Like she's really upset.
I mean, it was just so sad.
Yeah.
It left my brain. Where did it go? Oh,
ADD.
all of, like a lot of new interviewers that I see, and not that I'm like watching red carpet interviews, but a lot of them is like TikTokers that may not have, or influencers, I should say, that don't have the proper training.
And that sucks for those of us who went to college. And that's the thing about we millennials. You know, we were born a little too late, because now we went and spent 4 years in college and went and did the training and did like the groundwork and like the local news stations. And then you see a 22-year-old TikToker who has 10 million followers go take the job that's what you've been working your whole. That's just the nature of the business, unfortunately.
I know.
Which is really great. You're doing a podcast. And are you doing the TikTok thing? I'm still so bad at I watch so much TikTok. I've TikToked 3 times. So I don't know much about it.
During lockdown, that was the only time. And then I try to do it a little bit after, but it's just so time consuming.
It is. But that's how these kids are getting ahead of us.
I tried.
Damn it.
It's just, I mean, Shane can tell you. It's one, coming up with the concept, how to shoot it. I would get frustrated. And sometimes we would like bicker because it was just like, his vision is this, I'm thinking this, maybe I'm not understanding what's trending, what's not trending. So it was like, this is not, kudos to those who do it full time. Am I jealous that now they get like,
yes,
I don't know, $10,000?
100%. I hate them all. I hope they fail.
They make it seem,
that's the teaser.
they make it seem so easy, but it's just like, no, that takes hours and hours of shooting and then editing. No. Okay, because he highlighted one question. I was like, that means he wants the last one. Okay. What's one question that you've never been asked about your time in WWE that you've always wanted it to be asked?
There's nothing that I've wanted to be asked. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of questions that nobody has asked me, but I don't know. Is there anything that pops in your brain that you'd want to know about someone who worked there? Yes, I've seen all the guys junk through their shorts.
Let's go. That's what we want to know.
I got a question. You know, they say that the sense of smell is the strongest sense tied to your memory.
Okay.
So with that in mind, which wrestler has like the most, I'm not saying best smell or worst smell, but like which wrestler is like,
first one that pops in your head.
Maybe you're like walking around a Bed Bath & Beyond and you get a whiff of something. You're like, oh, that's Triple X. Or I don't know.
Look,
Triple X.
Triple X.
Triple X.
Big wrestling fan
Triple
over there.
H.
Bye, Kyle.
I'm taking him to one wrestling
You know,
match.
I'm not going to say anybody in particular, but I will say the smell that like will always stay with me, and it just came back because I recently did it. The smell of spray tan. I'm half black, so I never really I get tan, but because it's been so cold, I haven't, so I get kind of like pale. So I spray tanned a couple weeks ago, and I never do that. And that smell just
smells
brought
just
back
everywhere.
I felt like I was in a WWE locker room again because everybody is just covered in spray tan.
Well, I was involved in indie wrestling in the mid 2000s, and it was still the time where everyone was going to tanning beds. That's still a thing, but it like
not now,
not as much now because people are a bit more
skin.
conscious. But yeah, it's now pivoted to just like
Oh my
self tanner.
God.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I only self-tanned for when I was doing pageants.
And that makes sense. That's understandable.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
I hated it.
Because then I would get stains in my bed sheets,
and
my
then
clothing.
it's splotchy. I think I still am like rubbing some off. It's so gross.
I like natural tanning.
You know what? Me
Yeah.
too. And we're about to because it's getting warm in
Yeah.
California. Bow, 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 bow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, one more question. Have you met Roman Reigns? Obviously, you've met him. Right?
I mean, I was a member of I was a part of the Bloodline story for the better part of 3 or 4 years. So I had to deal with Roman Reigns all the time. Are you about to say he's so attractive? Oh, well, deal with him, girlfriend, because he just blows you off anytime you ask him an intelligent question, just like a man. Hey! Oh! That's what I have to say about Roman Reigns. And his little sidekick, Paul Heyman, can get it too. Okay.
I love this. I love it so much. Oh,
I love you, Paul.
One more thing. I did a wrestling bit with Shane a couple weeks ago.
Oh, in a wrestling ring.
In a wrestling ring for the
What?
first time.
Did you
I've
take a
never.
bump?
No, I didn't.
She
take
hit the
any.
ropes.
I
That's
did the
hard.
ropes.
That
Yeah.
will tear up
Have
your back.
you? Did you have to wrestle? Did you
I
have
had to
like,
take a bump. I take bump class, and it was not
Oh,
fun.
It's brutal.
It is.
It's like when he was warming up, he was doing some twirls. I don't know. He posted a TikTok, and you see my face. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just seeing him. Boom, boom. Just couldn't. I was. He has like bruises.
Yeah.
And my back hurts, and I'm just like, this is just a little
And
teeny
you gotta
tiny
think about
taste.
the amount of times, especially there's girls in the ring that are smaller than me. You got Alexa Bliss, you've got Liv
Insane.
Morgan, who are just constantly running the ropes and make it look so easy. But they've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Knock the wind out of you.
literally.
I literally, so we have, the announcers used to have to take a bump class just in case we were in the ring in our heels and something went wrong. We had to learn how to fall without getting hurt in our high heels. And so I put on, I don't know if you ever saw Tough Enough, but I had a Tough Enough helmet on to make sure I was all locked in. Michael Cole was watching me with this camera because that'd be really funny to show everybody. And then I fell on my back and I didn't tuck, you have to tuck your chin. And I didn't tuck my chin. So my neck snaps back. I felt like I got hit by a truck. I like crawled away whimpering. And that was the only time I ever took a bump. And anytime someone's like, would you ever consider getting in the ring and wrestling? I'm no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But they make it look easy.
They do. They do. I come from a dance background, and all I could hear was my mother, Gabriella, your body, don't do that to it. Because I'm like, yeah, this is it's completely the opposite. One is, taking care of your body, it's slow movements, and then the other one's just like
Yeah.
rough.
Hitting it.
Anyways, enough about wrestling. Anyways, let's talk about a little bit more about your trajectory, because you're an actor. And you were on a show in Colombia when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that. What made you go into acting, first of all?
It was, again, life. I
Okay.
never chose to be an actress. It just happened. I was walking on the street one day with my mom and my sister, and somebody was like, hey, do you want to make an audition? We're doing an audition for a commercial.
you
Remember
serious?
those days?
Yeah.
That's like
Remember
one of those
those days?
stories you always hear that really happened. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It happened to me.
I'm so mad that that's never happened to me. It did. Well, the closest thing I could say is that I was at the mall in Puerto Rico, and they were doing like a model call, but I was already signed with a modeling agency, and I was like dressed so cute because I'm 18.
Babe, I'm
I'm a
offended.
model.
Well, you and I crossed paths on the street, and I was like, I want you to audition to play my wife, my future wife.
Oh, is this
Remember
what
that?
it's been this whole time?
Remember that? How that happened? And you were like, see,
See, I will be your wife.
one day.
One day.
One day.
Is that real?
No. But yeah, that was the stories we hear about. Okay, so
But you know
continue.
what? Sometimes I don't know what's worse, because it happened to me a couple of times when I was younger, and it never happened to me again. And I was waiting for it to happen
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And when I came to Los Angeles, somebody's gonna see
Somebody's
me
gonna-
and see, you are the
Yeah.
one that I've been looking for. And then that hasn't happened, and I don't think it's gonna happen. So it led me with this feeling of like, wait, I deserve it just because, and I do think that's true, but also
Sure, yeah.
also you do need to do the work, and I am a little bit lazy, but I figure it's because I am afraid of facing rejection. So sometimes it takes me too long to get things ready and to get the new book ready and then to send my manager the material and those things.
Yeah.
It's very triggering.
Yeah.
But in Colombia, it was so easy. It was so much easier. So I got that. And then one thing led to the other one.
Was it a novela or?
For that first thing was a commercial. But
Okay,
then I was called for a series, kind of like novela series. That was the main show in Colombia for like 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
So everybody would watch the show. So if I go to a Colombian restaurant, sure it is that somebody's going to be like, hey, you are the girl of Padres e Hijos. I'm like, yes, that's me. But
So
just in a
cool.
Colombian restaurant. But that was like long time ago. I was 16. So I was 3 years on that show. And then I jumped to another show, the most famous show at night. So I was super, super famous show in the afternoon and then super, super famous show at night. So it was like the best 7 years of my career
were in that time because I was just like everywhere. And then my dad died and I just became depressed and I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I separated a little bit from acting, and then I got married and I was just like, oh, let me be a housewife. And I created a company with my husband of a production company, and I just separated a little bit from it. But I kept acting here and there, but it was not like that big. And again, I tell you, it never happened to me again that they were like, I want you for this. I really had to struggle to take to get the parts. And you are not a cute little teenager anymore.
Sure.
You're like a woman that's getting fat and then skinny, and then you get, I don't know, like weird and swollen and then not. And I didn't know how to deal with that and the rejection. And they would tell me on my face, like, you're a little bit too fat for this part.
No.
And that fucked with me, my psyche and my health and everything.
Imagine that, babe. Imagine that happening right now.
Oh,
It would never happen.
That
It would never.
oh
I mean,
my
it
God.
does, but people don't get away with it.
I
like
mean,
they
I did
used to.
have kind of
Experiences like that.
Yeah, with the owner of this modeling agency that I was signed with, and I remember her saying like, "Estás un poquito gordita," like, you know, you're a little bit
It's
fat,
triggering
you know,
me right
just
now.
like,
just thinking of that.
yeah. And I remember her commenting on my nails at that point because I had like cute designs, and she's like, "Modelos no se ponen esas uñas así. Models don't wear those nails like
nails.
that." It was like cute little, you know,
It's just
acrylic design.
Like
and it's
having
just,
that opinion over somebody's body, we don't know how unhealthy that can be for
And then
that
I look back
person.
at the pictures and I'm like, how dare this woman say I was
Exactly.
overweight?
Exactly.
I'm like, this look at these twig arms. And
Exactly.
it's so bad the way we treated ourselves back then.
Exactly. And then you hated yourself.
Yeah, for
and then
years.
you put yourself on really unhealthy diets for years. And then, you were not giving yourself the place you deserved. So how do you expect me to be a happy person if I'm already judging my body for being already perfect? There's like, you know, like, you know what? I'm sorry. I have a curved body. I cannot cut my butt off, you know?
Yeah.
But I wanted it. Oh, I dreamed with this. I wanted to have the, you know, like this type of body that is kind of like very, very thin legs.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to have that. My body is totally different. Like I have a very curvy body. And I was feeling just so ashamed for just being.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I was like that. I was always like, how can I just be so skinny?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if I diet so much, the worst diets in the world.
Yeah.
And even the time that I was the skinniest the most, I was always with
Judging,
a butt in my big legs. Like there was no way, you know. I'm like,
I'm so grateful that all of this is done. It's been called out. It's been fixed.
Good.
I feel like we're in a better place.
Yeah.
You know? So Kyle, he sent us a very special clip
Yeah. Oh, good. Wait.
that I don't know. I mean, you might want to take a look
right
at
over
it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck you. This is terrible. This is not special. This is awful. So. Sick, Bruce. You take this.
So,
Bruce
okay.
saved me. Thank you. I love Bruce.
We gotta know what is it? What
help
is it?
us understand why did Kyle make me do this to you?
No, let me tell.
Where do we start? She's traumatized.
I'm doing good. I took my lorazepam and I'm doing just fine.
Brucey.
This Bruce is
I
fine.
will say,
fuck it. No, fuck it up, Bruce.
The
Fuck it up.
The reaction
Here's the
Kyle was telling me we'd get, this was a lot calmer than I was anticipating.
know,
I
right?
took my lorazepam. I told you. It is a hot take, and I think a lot of people might be upset if I say this. Fuck every single fucking octopus on the face of this planet.
We lost all of our octopus viewership.
You don't know how many it could have been because they're fucking smart, and that's why I don't fucking
They
like
are.
them. This is the one take.
What happened? Did you have
Who
an?
hurt you?
Which one? Where?
No,
How many were there?
Just the un.
Just uno.
Just the un. It wasn't Catalina Island. Where was it? It was off the coast of Southern California. In high school, I was like, ooh, marine biologist. I'll do that.
Everybody wants to be a marine biologist. That's so funny.
Everybody wants to be a marine biologist.
I blame it on Free Willy.
Yeah.
That's
You
where it
know
all
what?
started, right?
That's
where it all
fucking-
started.
That's true.
We don't know any of the words of the song.
At the blank page before you.
No, that's a different
Oh,
song.
okay,
That's a
that's
different
a
song.
different
We were Michael Jackson. And then he went, and yet SeaWorld still
SeaWorld. I
has,
know.
yes, they still have killer whales.
I can't believe it's still
in captivity.
open.
Anyway, it was a high school, like, ooh, inner explorer, look, you, marine biologist, yeah. And one of the guys was like, here's an octopus. Plopped it out, and it was on his hand. And everyone was like, well, this was also, I forget where it was. Puerto Peñasco.
Okay.
Peñasco is one of the places where they have the lowest tides. So like, and all this area was like, I remember it was bubblegum seaweed, which is a seaweed that looks like bubbles. And like volcanic rock. So they were like, you got to be careful. We're like, tiptoe. Don't, because you'll slip, you'll hurt your ankle. This motherfucker brings out an octopus. Oh. And he hands it towards me. And the motherfucker just kind of lunged at me in a certain way that I said, no. And just ran across that fucking bubble seaweed lava rock. And they were like, stop running. I was like, no, I'm not. And I just zoomed across. And I was like, nah, that octopus smelt my fear. And I think every single one can. We know for a fact they're very smart.
That's a quote I've never heard in my whole life. That octopus smelled my fear.
That's great.
I respect them. I'm just terrified.
Have you ever had octopus?
Oh, to eat?
Yeah.
All the
It's
time.
so good.
Oh, all the time.
But
I
you
love
eat it with a purpose.
Oh, I love it. Because I'm like, bitch.
You eat it with intention.
Bitch. Oh, you so smart? Nom, 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 nom. Not
Yes,
smart enough
please,
to
give me
avoid this.
Yeah, give me the octopus.
And I was
Who's eating who?
I was vegetarian for a reason. But I was like, no, for them.
I do love octopus. It's so good. So
And all my roommates are like, oh, the octopus, my friend, that movie.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
No.
We don't got to.
Okay, we don't have to. I
No,
won't.
because no.
Hollywood, we have to be the ones to change it. They're watching us. And again, I feel like people in this industry forget. They forget how everyone else looks at us.
Yeah.
And if we don't figure it out right here, we're never going to get it.
I just saw right before we started the podcast, Ana de Armas said something about, I love to see more Latinas in, because I think she just filmed James Bond.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
She said, I would
She's
love to
doing it.
see more Latinas in action movies like James Bond.
100%.
There's none of us.
No.
And we have not been given the opportunity to showcase what we can do in those types of roles. And my brain went, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. And
I
how
don't
many
have-
fine ass Latinas do we know in this industry that can just really be badass?
Oh my God.
A lot. Yeah.
The whole list.
Yeah. Best looking people in the world,
Yes.
best looking people in the industry, most talented, I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Really?
Oh,
It's
100%.
suppression at its finest.
Yeah.
And everyone knows
Yeah.
it. And that's where they're keeping us. And especially now, things are getting hairier.
Yeah.
So we don't have
Yeah.
room or time to not dream big
Mhm.
and go back to that childlike, naive
Yes.
innocence that brought you out to LA, to my land, where it's sacred,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm from. Anybody who's been in the industry for a long time that came here with that mindset, like, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, go back to that. I don't care what your circumstances are right now. I know toilet paper is expensive and I know all of you are starving, but here's another thing that I think people need to be reminded. Oh, see, here we go. I'm warmed up now.
Yeah.
Here we go. She's back. Took me a little minute. Here's another thing I think people need to remember. Just because you've had a little bit of financial success, don't forget, you didn't come in this industry rich and you didn't come here for the money.
Yeah.
So stop complaining that you can't pay your bills. Find another way to make money and get back to dreaming. Because when you get back to dreaming, what we're going to do then is we're going to ignite the one thing we all have in common. And I'm going like this because it's our skin. And that is our warrior, our warrior strength, right? Our power. I don't care what you want to call it. I don't care. There's a lot of different names for it, but all of us have it.
Yes.
Right? We all have that. Get back to that and just imagine all of us at the top. Find a way to pay your bills first, though, because when the bills are in the way, you're not good for anybody. And we have a responsibility right now to make that shift. It's such a small window. Like, this is, administration is here, people. Like, I don't know what. Stop with the negative talk. Stop with the complaining. I don't want to go to another event where all I hear is people complain. I can't do it. I come home and I'm like, damn, I don't want, what the hell why am I here? Why am I here then? Just to, I can't do that. Yeah. So if I'm going to be here, I'm going to constantly like just push you guys to be more positive and get back to our warrior strength. Like, we have power on this sacred land of California right now with just our thoughts. Literally, just dream big. Put it in a prayer, talk to your abuelas. We all do the same thing in different ways. Yes. We all do, right?
Yes.
Use your third eye. I don't care what you want to call it. Go back to your native roots, whatever works. Get there and watch this.
I hope you're in your car driving to our listeners and going, fuck yes! And like just punching the steering wheel.
I love that you
it's
said
just
that.
Like, because it's so true.
It's so true. And that's the way I think.
I was going to say one more thing about, like, you know, my upbringing in my family. There was a lot about ¿Quién tú te crees que tú eres? Okay. And I think, you know, who do you think you are to deserve to dream this way? Yeah. And that's very big in a Hispanic culture.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
You're nobody.
Yes.
Why would you be on TV?
In Mexicans do it too. Listen, who do you think you are? I'm a freaking American, and this is what the fuck we look like right now.
Yeah, that's right. High five. Yes, and Bruce is over there like.
Yeah, that is the only mindset every single one of you people of color should have right now. That we are Americans, and this is what we look like. If we continue that negative, oh well, who is she? Why does she think? Why is she going to New York? Who the fuck? Guess what? We're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm coming in with the outside perspective because I know what people think that are not in entertainment, and they are watching every single one of you like you are superstars, even if you haven't worked in 2 years. They don't know that. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here, and let's get it, because it's coming for us, and it's going to get harder.
And even if you're not in entertainment, that doesn't make you less. Like, we're not better because we're in entertainment. We're all in this together.
No,
you know
it's harder to be here.
100%.
But we have a job and a responsibility to make it better for the rest of the world.
100%.
If we talk about representation matters, be about it then. Yeah. Show the rest of the world how it's done. And I don't want to hear, oh well, it's easy for you to say. You have family. You've been here you have a business. No, because my bills come and go too. And being in the wedding business, believe me, I mean, I'm a paralegal too. I could work in an office right now making a lot of money. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to ride this wave with my fellow actors. And sometimes I'm broke. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I'm not. Find a way.
Yeah.
Find a way. If you came here to and depended on this alone for money.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. You're already losing. And we can't afford to lose anything right now. Yeah. Yeah. And stop looking for favors and stop saying somebody owes me something. Nobody owes you shit.
Nobody owes you shit. Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yep.
Figure it out.
Mujeres poderosas.
That's it, man. Yeah. You beat them at their own game. This is a game of chess. And we have a very slim window to push that needle forward. And I got to give Diana and Lisa and Constance and Angelique and Gina a ton of credit. Because if they hadn't formed Latinas Acting Up to start this revolution, guess what? We would not be even close to where we need to be. And I think that they have pushed the needle forward, but it does no good if you're just waiting on the bigger celebrities to do the work. Yeah. Every single person right now with a dream needs to really tune it out, focus, and remember, you have the blood of a warrior. I told that to my kids from when they were 4. I'm like, look, you may not speak Spanish, but you're going to be judged. You have the blood of a warrior. So don't forget that and use it. That's our superpower. We always talk about Latinas Poderosas. Well, guess what? Like, use that shit.
That's your
picture
superpower.
the flag on your back. Like, right now in Hollywood, just try that. Because what else can we do?
Yeah. I mean, I know you said we need to wrap up. I did want to ask, yesterday when we were at dinner, I asked Shane a very deep question. Are you starting to see your age?
Oh, interesting.
You know, and I was telling Shane, men are different, you know. I'm starting to see my age.
You said see or feel?
Feel and see. And it goes back maybe again to the skincare routine. It's like, okay, well, maybe I could be better with my skincare routines, but also skincare is very expensive and I don't have the money right now. And so I kind of came from I was like, hey baby, I need some loving. Let me open this door right now. I'm starting to see and feel my age. What about you? Your response was like, no.
Well, I mean, I told you my real answer. Weight is something that I've personally struggled with my whole life, and something that I think everybody has a different relationship with, and it affects people differently. And man, God bless the people that are just happy in their skin. For me, that's been a challenge and a struggle. And so for me, it's like, I'm not at the weight right now. Like, I'm working actively to get back there to the weight that I'm just comfortable with. And then, then I feel like I look, what makes me happier. Like, even when I'm at that weight though, I still want to, it's still not complete. It's weight's a lifelong journey struggle for me. But that was really, my answer was truly like, just I feel like I look better how I like to look. It's just something about, for me, when I'm about 15 pounds lighter, and that's it. And that's just a personal thing for me. I don't give a shit what people think about how I look. I used to a lot. But I'm starting to feel a little older. Like my back especially is something I got to get like checked out here soon. But I mean, I've also put a lot of wear and tear on my car. A lot of miles on this beast,
car?
on my car.
Your vehicle.
I've already put a lot of miles on this fucking puppy, and I still got to get the most out of it.
How many days have we been alive?
Gabby, you have been alive. Calculate numbers. What are you saying? Why is this?
Okay, 37 years. Yes, I know that, but I want to know how many days.
13,555 days. That is how many days you've been alive. That's insane. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Okay, first of all, 13, and then
Jesus.
555.
Here we go.
What does 555 is?
555 is. What is 555 is?
It is 555 symbolizes significant change, transformation, and new beginnings. Here we go. All right, you guys, I have to go to work because I need to pay my bills. Make sure you guys follow me on Gabby Gabs on Instagram. Check out my song Deep End by Carmen G, my alter ego. Available on Apple Music, Spotify, and all other platforms. Pick up our apparel at afterweshop.com and also shopmaruka.com. You can check out my little boutique. And we want to give a special shout out to our after party over at Patreon, both VIP and backstage pass. You can join the party now at patreon.com/afterrewrap show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. We will see you next week. Bye guys. Mwah.